So you're saying no to groupies, or it's like, no, there's time for groupies, but
There used to be,
okay.
but I realized that depleted a lot of my energy. Once I realized that everything matters and everything, I mean, shit, look, it's all necessary, right?
You, yeah.
From anxiety to depression to all the different things, like I've allowed myself to feel them through and then utilizing them and putting them into things.
Hey world, what's up? It's your host Tifani Sage, and welcome to It's All Necessary. Bling.
It's all necessary,
Right?
It's all necessary.
This space is just a reminder to all of us that everything that we go through, every life experience that we get a taste of, it's only to prepare us for the next event to come. So, without further ado, I want to introduce my amazing guest, R3X Wonders.
Your friend too. Put some respect on my name. I was saying I'm your friend too. I'm your friend too.
Thank you. Oh, and then also too, guys, you know the usual: like, subscribe. Please give me your feedback.
Helps the channel.
Right. I want to hear from y'all. R3X is a filmmaker, fashion designer, musician, and overall creative entrepreneur. Owns 2 businesses, sits as an executive for 2 others, and now is doing artist development for a few artists.
Yes.
How are you doing, man?
Overall, good.
Amazing. And I feel like I hope I have enough time to like really pick your brain, but yeah. I'm going to try my best. All right. So first and foremost, obviously we know who we are as adults, young adults.
Right.
It all stems from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what captivated your attention when you were a child.
What captivated my attention?
Yeah.
That's a good ass question. Last podcast was trash. Yeah, you came with a good question. First thing that comes to mind was when I realized that my actions had reactions.
Wow.
So I think that's why I really like painting and sketching and stuff like that early on. And also cussing. I like cursing a lot, you feel me? Because I realized really young, I can't really pinpoint, but I would say around 5, 6 years old, where I realized that if I said certain words, it pissed off certain people.
And it made you
and it had reactions. So yeah, it made me feel like I had power.
I love
you
that.
Could say, you know what I'm
I've
saying?
never heard that before.
I don't think as a kid I understood it as power. I probably just understood it as like, oh, it's like my first like interaction with like the Matrix, if you will.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, oh, okay, so I do have like a certain like status in this whole thing. You
right.
know?
And like your space matters.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely like I guess the first realization and like the thing that caught my attention with a lot of shit. Yeah, is like my reaction, my actions having the reaction, and then testing out the varieties of that concept. You know what I mean?
I love that. I feel like only you would say that. Okay, and then as a teenager and then young adult, were there any role models in your life? And what did you? It's kind of like a 2-part. What did you admire about them, and what did they have or possess that made you want to adopt from them in your life? So you can answer any part of that question that you feel like you connect with.
Number 1, did I have any role models, and what attributes?
Yeah, that you're like, you know what, I like that.
And that I adopted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of role models. I wouldn't say like directly involved with my life role models. I would say like obviously the media I was consuming, like the artists and thinkers, philosophers, scientists I was studying and that I, found curiosity in. Do you want me to name like a few?
Yep. Listen, I have an hour.
I think Steve Jobs was one of the first ones. I remember thinking like, damn, like I wish I could have my music and my phone together. And then it happened. And I was like, oh, shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then digging in deeper as I got a little older into high school, I was like, oh, this is dope. Like there's people out here actually like innovating. So innovation would be one, right? Like people kind of taking the route that is not casually or like frequently walked on, So that's a big attribute I think that goes through and through with like a majority of my inspirations, you feel me, is people that take the route least walked on. and kind of innovate through that space. But yeah, that's to keep it short. But yeah, Steve Jobs would be one of them. I would say Kobe Bryant, obviously another one, being from LA. The work ethic and the interviews, hearing like the interviews, like the work ethic kind of like became ingrained into me, knowing that like, okay, that was a reality I had to face and be okay with it and find solace in the work ethic, and just like being like, all right, if this person was able to do this like magnificent, you know, things and like get the love and the appreciation and like the, you know, that shock factor, the awe, you know, from everybody, then I have to do what he does. But obviously it's a different field for me. It was okay, but what if I applied like the Mamba mentality to like what I do, you know what I mean? So I would say those would be top two, you know what I'm saying?
I love that you said solace, because I realize, me too as well, like when I see great people, who did I look up to? Michael Jordan, Oprah, you know, back then and still now, that it's like, oh, you know, in order to be great, you have to carve time out to practice on, you know, whatever your craft is.
Absolutely.
I love that. What was your fondest childhood memory, and why does it still resonate with you? Rex is like, yo, yeah, come out swinging with these questions. Take your time.
What was my fondest childhood memory?
Yeah.
And
why does it still resonate with you to this day?
Why does it still resonate with me? I would say having like an issue with the majority of my teachers. And then when I was in 9th grade, I met this one teacher that realized that I wasn't going to do the work, but then like found other work that was more fitting for me to do. You know what I'm saying? It was an art teacher. I took art as an elective, you know, kind of makes sense with the person that I am.
Yeah.
But I went in there on some just dickhead shit, you know what I'm saying? I instantly wanted to be an asshole about all of it. Yeah, we ended up getting like really, really close after, because she realized that like my potential was like unorthodox. You feel me? So I started winning every single competition like that was coming through the gate. I was smoking them. And so my studies and my assignments became competitive, as opposed to just like mundane things that were built on like just giving kids the fundamental techniques that they would need, you know what I'm saying, to, I guess, find some type of value from an art class, which is like in 9th grade, like realistically, like they don't give a fuck, like they don't care if you're a good artist or not. It's just an elective that is just to like make people feel better. But she kind of realized like, nah, this kid probably actually takes his math serious, which is why he wouldn't take my class serious. I feel like that philosophy and that way of being is has transcended into like my personality through and through, even now as an adult. So
and it made you feel, I guess, like how she tailored her teaching styles and gave you that extra time. It made you feel like, wow, like, you know, the other teachers didn't give a fuck, but it's like you actually see me and you're taking time to understand me.
She would let me do whatever I wanted, so it's tight.
I love that. This is off script, but I kind of feel like you're like a sapiosexual.
Absolutely. I'm attracted to intelligence.
I gathered that. Last childhood question. How would your parents describe you as a child?
I talk too much. I make really poor decisions.
But what do you think was behind that making, or not that there was anything wrong, but did you feel like you were curious and you had to make those bad decisions to then be like, okay, I know if I do this, that means this, or it, you know? I
mean, it comes back to the first question of like the first thing that kind of caught my attention, which was the reactionary state that people would go into because of my actions. So I kind of like, I enjoyed playing that game, and it didn't matter who it was, you know what I'm saying? And so my folks weren't necessarily always happy about everything that I did. You know what I'm saying? A majority of the time I was in trouble. I'll just say that.
Wow.
Like a majority of my life I was in trouble some one way, shape, or form.
Did it make you feel bad? Like you're a bad person?
At first, yeah. But then when I realized that it's like I don't do things to intentionally hurt people. I just do things that are like experiments.
Yeah.
They're just experiments to me, you know? And then I got older, and then I realized that those experiments were the information I got from all the things that I was doing when I was a kid were actually valuable. And it's what inevitably separated me from the crowd, where it was very evident. Like I could walk into any room and there's an energy, you know, to it
that you
like,
bring to it.
yeah, and I don't understand it,
Okay.
but I see myself better sometimes in other people's eyes than I see in my own. You feel me?
Wow.
So, and one of the common conversations is the fact that I like come through and I can destabilize like an energy source just by being present in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
definitely can attest to that.
Yeah. So
This is so good. All right. So we're going to move into the section called Top 2.
okay.
And you don't have to elaborate.
After this, I want you to go completely off script. We've had so many great conversations, just like after working on crazy projects together,
true. Yeah.
stuff like that. We've had a lot of great conversations that I want you to go off script and just like we've already had amazing conversations.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
get through your shit though. Get through your shit.
All right. So top 2, what would you say are your top 2 mental health practices that have helped you in the past or presently?
Oh damn.
What? Oh, who cares?
Nah,
that was the smoke
leave
in
that
the air.
Leave that in there. Top 2 mental health practices. Solitude is number 1.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I am very aware of who I am as a person and my needs. And I fulfill my own needs first and foremost. And a lot of that study and understanding came from being alone.
I love that. So with that, how has that, or if it has, how has that, not, I don't want to say disrupt, but has that caused an issue in any of your romantic relationships?
Absolutely. My love life is a fucking mess.
Because
I like being alone.
Got it. Okay.
And it's very hard when a woman is in love with me and obviously wants my love and attention.
Yeah,
and when
she sees what you bring to
the
table.
I wake up and she thinks, oh, we're gonna like be chilling and cuddling and fucking let's go get some breakfast. And once in a while, yeah, for sure, I'll be inspired. I wake up in the morning and I could be inspired and run a play, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I literally just want to like think like the weight of my entire like goals and existence and everything like falls on me instantly the moment I wake up.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me to like go back to sleep once I've already woken up.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard. Like as soon as like I wake up, my mind is directly on the checks and balances of everything that surrounds my businesses, my life, everything. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing I have to do is go through my schedule, go through like a system. It's like a very like particular system that I have to go through to maximize the energy of my day.
Right. And I feel like maybe that doing all of that does give you peace where it's like, okay, phew, that's good. Okay, so what you say now? Like that kind of
exactly.
vibe. Okay.
I can't be present in other conversations if I don't do that work.
I agree.
I can't be present. Like it's just very hard for me.
Yeah,
like I've learned how to be extremely independent and self-sufficient that like I already by nature don't need anybody, and I want people around me, right? Friends and family and you know a female, whatever, but I don't need it to do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying? So like number 1 is solitude. Number 2,
wait, sorry, so to pick it back off of that, so you're saying no to groupies, or it's like no, there's time for groupies, but
there used to be.
Okay.
But I realized that depleted a lot of my energy. And because
you're sounding like a grown ass man. This is amazing.
Yeah. I've been getting there for sure.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it was fun for a while, but like it didn't really I didn't like the idea of like waking up the next morning and kind of like there's this guilt like when I get too fucked up and drunk or do things I know I'm not supposed to be doing that are not in line or aligned with like my purpose and goals, like I wake up the next morning and it's like this unshakable feeling of guilt where it's like it's letting myself down. It doesn't matter if there's nobody who could tell me anything. It's not a parental fucking pressure. Like there's nothing nobody can tell me like in everybody else's eyes like I'm already I'm successful. I deserve anything and everything that I want to do, right? But it's like a me and me thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like I don't like that feeling of guilt in the morning.
Right.
When I know that I just took advantage of the situation and circumstance of me being a person of value to like now essentially like eat the fruits of the labor, but the rotten ones.
Oh my, I've never heard that before.
Welcome.
Gem drop.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And so I did that quite a few times, and I had to learn from it eventually, you feel me? And I realized that like that energy is not as important as the energy I was able to pour into everybody else.
Right.
And so I knew the impact that I was making out of meta, you know, from a meta perspective. And I'm not willing to sacrifice that for like the short term
Right.
little things. And like I said, I had my fun. It's not like, I'm just like this saint. Like, I'm not a saint by any means. You feel me? I think what makes me beautiful is the fact that I'm corrupted, you know?
Yeah.
Like, at least half. You know what I mean? Half of me. Balanced.
I don't feel like you could be fully corrupted and vibrate off such a high frequency that you do vibrate off of. So
when I say corrupted, it's like purposely meant to be a terrible word to use.
Okay.
Because like I want people to understand the gravity of like making those decisions is being corrupted. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm okay with that because it gives me color, flair, character. You know what I'm saying? In what I do, and it gives me perspective. You know what I'm saying?
It
like
kind of circles back to what you said in the beginning about when you were a child, you realized cause and effect.
Right. And then I learned responsibility.
That part.
First I learned the power, and then I learned the responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm Spider-Man, I was like.
You are whatever you're going to be.
I never told you my second one. Hold up. Cause like that one kind of, I struggle with it. Like, what's the other thing that I practice to like preserve my mental health? And I think that's a super important thing. I should be naturally like off hinge, you know what I'm saying? Like just the type of lifestyle I live and the type of person I am, I should be off the fucking shits, you know what I'm saying? But there is a system that I've put into place. Number one, solitude. Number two is utilizing all emotions.
Wow.
So
okay.
From anxiety to depression to all the different things, like I've allowed myself to feel them through and then utilizing them and putting them into things. And essentially, if like you just keep them you keep internalizing everything, like it becomes like a fighting situation within yourself. And I would just feel like if I don't put this energy to something that is forward driven, then it just inevitably bounces off because I create the wall and it bounces off and hits me. Right. So it starts affecting me. It starts affecting me. Right. So with depression, when I started going through that when I was younger, it was just like, okay, word. Once I realized that everything matters and everything, I mean, shit, look, it's all necessary, right? Everything matters and everything's here for a reason. I was like, okay, what is this depression shit? Right. And where is this stemming from? I made my notes on that. When I realized anxiety was just my spirit telling me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's when I started realizing that all of these are cues and instincts. That is your instinctual basis of like, this is like that is the compass. Yeah. That's the compass. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so all the energy, all of it is valid, right? Sad, happy, jealous, intimidated, envious, right? Whatever. I don't want, we can go through and through on the spectrum, but
can we stop there really quick with jealousy? What do you feel? How can you turn jealousy into a positive?
Well, you got to stop comparing yourself to somebody's step number 100. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably digest a certain amount of content, but there's a common saying. It's like, stop comparing their step 100 to your level 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then kind of just like being self-aware within like what you're dealing with and also being like extremely empathetic with yourself of like where your like faults, you know what I'm saying, and upbringings, and being completely like taking extreme responsibility over like your actions and realizing like if you're not there, even though they might be a hedge fund baby or this and that, they might have a rich parents, it doesn't even matter, but if you're not there, it's because you haven't gotten the information to bridge that gap. So one way or another, it's your fault. And so when you take like the position of extreme responsibility, it becomes a game of me versus me. So when if I ever feel like, damn, like he got that shit. Like I could have done that shit first, like blah, blah, because I'm a competitive person. So I had to distinguish between competitiveness and envy. Wow. They live on the same scale.
Yeah. You know that emoji with the, what's it called? The smoke or the the head busting
Blown
off.
up, yeah.
That's how I feel right now because I'm like, yo, this is some good ass shit.
Yeah, facts.
Wow. Number 2, the best 2 pieces of advice that you've received. And it can even be advice that you told yourself and it was like an awakening.
My stepfather, I love him so much, and I think we had a really good conversation when I was a little, not I was younger, but not as young as like a child, but like he told me, like, if it makes sense to you, then like even if I say no, you should do it. So it's like pretty much saying like the best advice is don't take advice. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If it's best for you and it feels right to you.
Yeah.
So that was one of those things where it's like I take constructive criticism, but I don't accept advice on how to handle that constructive criticism. So I think that was super important for me to like realize. And excuse me, I've fallen into trusting other people's advice a few times, and then it reminds me of that initial lesson. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was probably one of the best pieces of advice, is kind of just don't take nobody's advice.
Yeah.
If it makes sense to you, then run it. But also be responsible with the way that you're doing the data and collecting the data to make the best decision possible through that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's number 1. I could go for a long within that one, but number 2 would be saving doesn't create wealth.
Oh, I remember when
You'll
we
never save
talked
your
about
way
that,
to be rich.
Yeah.
You can't save your way to success.
Right.
Like the purpose of saving is to give yourself not only time to acquire the capital that you need to dispose into certain spaces, but to get the information and learn. So while you're saving and putting your money to the side, you should already be thinking of 3-4 different plans on where you're going to dispose this capital.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that advice came from one of my really, really successful friends, super dope and a lot older than me and shit. And he told me that when I was like fucking 22, like 23, you know? And so I was just like, I was young as hell, and I was just getting out of college.
Like you're still young.
Yeah, I'm still young, but like I was just getting out of college. So it was like one of the first things I heard when one of the first people that I seen living a lifestyle that I really wanted to live. You know, not exactly the same as his, but like, you know, he had a certain level of freedom that I wanted. And I've never been envious in that space where it's like when somebody is willing to give me the game about it or whatever. But yeah, so when he told me that, and he told me like, bro, like, what are your savings? And I told him, same person told me, money's a game. You feel me? So it's like, learn the game and stop being so pessimistic about like what you think is right. But it is what it is pretty much what he was telling me. He's like, it is what it is. It's like, you're not going to be able to save your way to wealth. And the only way to get to wealth is to understand the game. And you can't be upset about the game that's already there because you didn't create it. I didn't create it. It's like a culmination of a lot of generations of people that created it. And this is something that is now the foundation of the entire global economic system. Wow. And no matter what you do or any singular person does, it's a meta concept now that nobody can control. And so the only thing that you can do is learn the game and then find a way to play the game. And first you play the game and understand the rules, and then you start breaking the rules and understanding how to essentially separate yourself from the rules. You know what I'm saying? Through the rules. But yeah, I think those are the 2 best pieces of advice. One is more personal, one is more like, you know, arcing, whatever, financial.
I feel like you're our generation's like a mixture of Steve Jobs and that like Wolf on Wall Street guy.
Nah, because I ain't trying to finesse
well, not
people.
Like in a bad way, but just kind of like, this is what
I'm a lot nicer than Steve Jobs,
and
and I'm a lot less scammy than whatever. Fucking Jordan. What is it? What's his name? Jordan Belfort. Yeah.
Right. All right. So on to work life just
Don't say balance, because there is no such thing.
okay, great. So you scratched that thing off. But I was gonna ask, with all of your current credentials that you have done, how do you find time to make sure you show up 100% for each thing that you have on your,
That's fuck. That's like really hard, honestly. It's a lot of that solitude
Okay.
situation that I was telling you about. I have to kind of stick to like come, within myself, and like breathe through the situation. I have to remind myself of the gratitude that I need to have, which is hard sometimes because it's like it's a wave. You feel me? Like the ocean waves. Like the waves don't stop. You eventually just learn how to surf. You feel me? So it's like, for me, it's like making sure that I give myself the appropriate amount of time of me by myself. And once again, that fucks up my relationships. This and this. Sometimes clients really want to be best friends with me, and I'm just like, dude, like, if like I'm not gonna respond for real, like if it's not an immediate need right now, you know what I'm saying? I used to feel bad about it because I felt like this responsibility to be there for everybody, but then I realized that I can't be there for everybody if I'm not there for myself. So I stopped giving a fuck about responding to people on time.
On time, would you respond to them and let them know why, or you just wouldn't even respond?
No. That takes
so
energy.
It leaves them thinking like, oh, does he not fuck with me
Exactly.
anymore?
Okay. And that happens often, and it's not that. It's just like, yo, like, you have to realize I bit a huge chunk that I can barely chew.
Wow.
Okay. And I did that purposely because that's the only way to like force my growth. You know what I'm saying? So how I find the energy and emotional resources to be able to show up 100% is by not responding to you, motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're
watching
watching
some reverb
this,
on that.
and if you're watching this, it's not that I don't like you or I don't fuck with you. It's just like I fuck with me a lot more, as you should fuck with yourself a lot more than you fuck with me, right? That so part. It's like, don't take it personally. It's not that. It's just I have a regimen. I have a particular way of doing things, and like I have to preserve my energy to be able to give. You can't help nobody unless you help yourself. You feel me? So it's like, I can't be there for everybody. It's like most people don't even notice. Like I've been like, this has been one of my biggest years, and I'm not going to tell you like specifics on certain things I've been going through, but it's been thick, and nobody knows.
Personal life wise?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Personal shit, Nobody knows. Like, not even my team knows half of this shit. Like I just thug it and just run straight through that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that gets me through is giving myself that alone time in the morning.
I'm really glad you found that early because, I mean, people, no offense, but people 50 years old plus, if they're just now realizing this, it's like, how much of your life could you have, I guess, saved or, kind of heal yourself if you realize like solitude is a form of meditation and
absolutely
all that stuff.
It's difficult at first, but once you realize like the chatter and like the loudness in your head, like everything else around the world becomes more quiet.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to like silence your mind first before you're able to silence like the rest of the world to be able to focus, And I'll definitely like I have family members that haven't even figured it out yet, at that level. But that's the same reason why I put myself and I bit the piece that I can't chew because it forced me to do that like at a different level. It forced me to understand dynamics of psychology and sociology and politics and finance at a completely different level because I decided to like essentially put myself at the most extreme odds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the only way to survive is to adapt. That's the only way to survive.
I feel like I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, man, this man is so like, you're a sage. I feel like you're a sage.
And it's funny because you're a Tifani sage.
Yeah. There was something that you said a while ago that maybe it'll come back to me. But I think in other words, like when you said, when you silence your mind, you can silence what's around you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what I was going to say. I'm so glad it resonates with me, what you're saying. And I know it's going to resonate with like a lot of people out there. So I'm really glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me, for
You're
real.
welcome. What was
You're
the
one
next
of the
thing?
purest people I've ever spoken to.
Thank you, Rex.
Yeah.
That means a
for
lot to
real.
me.
Yeah. I
feel
feel like I
I
could be
could
genuine with you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I feel like you're not trying to play a game with me.
Yeah.
I'm a master at playing chess, so it's like as soon as I feel like you're trying to play a game with me,
Then
like,
it's game over.
yeah,
Same with me. Like
I read these when I was younger. I was a little more aggressive about it, but now it's like I rather just stay away. Like,
Yeah.
I have too many other things to worry about.
Right.
For real. Yeah.
Kind of with the work thing, I always wanted to know when you were solely doing the music video director or directing, how did it make you feel that you also wanted to get into your artist bag? Because I know you did it before,
Right.
but then you pivoted.
Right.
But did it ever make you feel a way like, man, I'm giving so much time and energy to these
I still feel that
artists?
way.
You do?
And
Okay.
people remind me of that all the time. Like
Okay.
my investors and this and that and all the people that are, invested into my personal work. Certain times, yes. Because I understood that I was sacrificing for like a financial gain. You know what I mean? Where it was just like, I'm building a business. So it's like with a business, you get clients. And with clients, you have to do correspondence. With correspondence, you got to do customer service and this and that. The customer's always right? Like all those like things that come with business. And it's definitely like frustrating sometimes. Mainly when like the artists that I'm working with don't take themselves that seriously.
So are they reaching out to you just because they feel like you can help them get put on? Like, why would they even take that step to approach you if they don't take themselves
I mean,
seriously?
quality of work, but also just, I mean, I don't know. It's I can't dictate or even try to pinpoint where the majority of like the hundreds and hundreds of people that hit me up where their psychology lies. You know what I'm saying? I can't really pinpoint that, but I have run into situations where it's like I'll take on a project and then it's just like the philosophies don't match. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can tell they don't care about this more than I do. And that's when it becomes a problem for me, is when it's like, if you don't care about this more than I do, then I'm still going to do it because you're a paying customer and I have respect for the business, but you're not going to get the extras. When I'm inspired by somebody, the money no longer becomes relevant to me. So I will go above and beyond to make sure your shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? And I'll try things and I'll be inspired and I'll be ready. I'll be texting you like, yo, I just tried this new thing, blah, blah. Like, I just learned this new thing. Like, are you down for me to like try it? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when there's moments like that, it's definitely refreshing because it's like, I can tell that they care as much as I do and they're actually going to appreciate that extra time. I'm dying. We're dying. So every extra hour I put into your project, like, that's an extra hour away from my life.
Yeah.
It's an extra hour on a finite scale of life. It's finite. You know what I'm saying? That's an hour I didn't give to my girl. It's an hour I didn't give to my best friends.
Yeah.
It's an hour I didn't give to my brothers. It's an hour I didn't give to my blood.
Yeah.
It's an hour I didn't give to my mind, to my studies, to my consciousness.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't take it lightly when people take my work and for granted, especially when they think that the money is the trade-off for me.
Wow.
The money's not the trade-off. It's good, but money doesn't inspire me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a great place to be because I feel like, I mean, obviously we know people do a lot of stuff for money and it's just like, in the end, was it really worth it?
It's like Baby Keem said, like, what's the pros and the cons of this next check? You know what I'm saying? Like, I weigh those options every time. I was just talking to my girl today. I was just like, I was playing with her too because it's like, she obviously as a man, I'm the provider type thing, but I was just like, man, like, if you don't just work for me so I can like get off these like personal ideas because then we'll just 10x our net worth. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just fucking with her and I was just like, and I was like explaining it to her because I was just like, look, like, there's certain ideas that I have that it's like, if I keep taking on these projects, like I'm not going to ever, I can't, like they need my attention at a different level, But yeah, I definitely think about it and it definitely fucks with me sometimes for sure. Definitely fucks with like my investors that are invested into my personal work, and I know that I have a different, unique space within art, you know? But I just been trying to figure it out. You know, at the end of the day, bills got to get paid. And I do appreciate that people feel like they need me to, like, get to their next level. And I like being there for people.
You know the saying, what is it? Man plans and God laughs.
Right.
What's a scenario or situation that you can think of that happened to you where it's like, damn, you know?
I ended up a fucking video director.
Wow. But
I ended up a director, a film director.
Benefiting you though? You're like,
absolutely.
Okay,
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I feel like it was supposed to happen that way. But it's just like I was so fixated on like me that like God forced me to like really tune my tool, like really sharpen and tune my instrument and sharpen my tools by helping other people. Like I was able to understand my own insecurities by watching other people be insecure on camera. Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
I was able to understand my own insecurities by seeing other people play on their insecurities on camera.
So how did you, like, okay, I'm filming you. How do I project myself and be like, oh, they're like not looking, you know, they're not giving me eye contact.
I can tell by the way that they look. It's just like, imagine if I took I took the footage of a video we shot and I chose all the parts where I knew you were insecure. Instead of choosing when I edit it, and I choose the parts that are like the best looking parts. Instead of choosing the best looking parts, imagine if I chose all the shittiest parts where I could tell you felt awkward.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe in yourself.
But then when you say like you kind of learned about yourself through that, how did you learn in that?
Of like just like the process of the way that they spoke, the way that they moved. The reasoning why. Were there certain people there that made them feel insecure? Right? Okay. So it was like, it's a lot to it. It's like very nuanced and it's a lot of them. But I learned a lot about myself by watching other people on camera. Wow.
And have you caught yourself like, oh shit, I just realized I was, I don't know, fiddling with my hair or, you know.
And why? Why was I fiddling with my hair?
Okay.
Why was I playing with my beard? Or why was I like changing my outfit? Why was I dealing with this diva on set, right? Like, but yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. And my job as a director is to like boost people's confidence. Okay. So like what I've realized when I work on set is like I can instantly tell when somebody doesn't feel comfortable. And when somebody doesn't feel comfortable, there's one or two things that I could do. I can either blame it on them because it's like, I'm here for a job. I'm here to just do my job. Yeah. Right? So if you feel uncomfortable right now, fuck it. Like I still am on an hourly basis. So I have to get this done. Yeah. If you get it done or you don't get it done, doesn't matter. I still get paid. That's number one. The position I take is I now, without them even knowing, I structure a basis of comfort and I get them back to themselves without them knowing. Yeah. I hype them up. I even tell my boys, you feel me? You see my whole team right here? Like, I tell my boys, like, yo, like, they're feeling a little down right now. Like, yo, every time, like, we're about to shoot this next shot, like, make sure y'all just loud about it and, like, hyping them up, you know what I'm saying? Telling them that it's good, you know what I'm saying? Like,
down as in, like, they were, like, fatigued and then...
No, not fatigued, but just, like, maybe not feeling as secure in their piece as they once felt.
Okay.
Or now that they're not used to being watched by everybody. To perform. Yeah. Right? So my job, in my opinion, as a director, your job is to identify the weaknesses and then find solutions for them in real time. And not like judge them for it, but like realize like your job is to make sure that the product gets done at the best level it can get done. And the only way that it's going to get done at the best level is to supply the energy that that's needed. Yeah. You feel me? So if sometimes I have to fabricate certain things so that they feel more comfortable to give me the product that I need. You know, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? It's really just like having empathy. Empathizing. Empathizing with the creative. I think that's what makes me one of the dopest directors is the fact that I understand how it feels like to be in front of the camera and behind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I could fix any problem. You already know me in post.
I
You
love
feel me?
that.
When I'm as an editor, animator, and director, you
Mhm.
feel me? As that combo, like I'm in the front and the back end.
Yeah.
So I control, like, all the middle stuff is what we hire for, but I'm in the front line and I'm there dealing with damage control in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Renaissance man.
Yeah, facts. Da Vinci.
On to some fun stuff. Let's do it. What's your weirdest habit?
I like bitches' ears.
What? I'm sorry. Wait, is it the shape or like?
I don't know. I I just realized that because like my girl right now, she asked me, she's like, why do you like when I'm like, instead of like rubbing the hair or whatever, I just like play with like the ear, like I play with the cartilage. Uh-huh. And then other exes have told me that before, like, yo, why are you always fucking my ears? Mm-hmm. And I realized I just like the feeling, like there's certain things. Same with painting with my hands, and there's a bunch of different sentient things that I do with my hands that I feel like my fingertips are like eyes. So it's like, yeah. But that's probably my weird. Huh?
When you're painting, are you closing your eyes?
No, not necessarily. I have, but no, I wouldn't say like that's like a common thing.
Yeah.
You know? But I can feel like I can tell what things look like by just feeling them. And I really like, especially with like my romantic partners, I like feeling on their ears and their noses. I don't know why.
Wow.
It's
okay.
like a weird,
I can relate to the nose thing.
Yeah. It's like a weird sentient.
You like cartilage.
I like things that like have shape.
Okay.
I have things that like shape. You feel me? Even with like Legos or like Rubik's cubes, I like feeling like the cuts in the Rubik's cube. I like turning it to a certain like angle so I can like feel the middle. I don't know. It's weird. But that I would say that's my weirdest habit is like exploring the feelings in my fingertips. Yeah. What
are some of your pet peeves? I guess anything that
chewing in my
out.
fucking ear. Don't ever do that. Chewing in my ear bothers the fuck out of me.
Who's doing this? It must
Styrofoam.
be the romantic partners.
Styrofoam. Nah, my guy Patrick always does it in my fucking.
What?
I feel like sometimes I feel like he does that shit on purpose because he knows I hate it, and he'll just like, or like playing like fucking loud ass like fucking.
Can you show me what this looks like?
Loud ass memes. Loud ass memes in the middle of a movie. Don't you ever fucking do that to me. Like what?
Oh my god.
What are the pet peeves? I have a lot of pet peeves, honestly. Talking while I'm playing a song. Don't you ever fucking do that shit? That shit is whack as fuck to me. Whether it's my song, my song or not, like it doesn't even have to be my own song. Like if I like go out of my way to like show you something that is fire, like and you start talking in the middle of it, that shit pisses me off. I'm just like, and I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna be like, all right, word, and I'm gonna turn around and I'm just listen to the song like without you, because it's like with or without you, I'm lit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hate that shit.
I have the same.
I hate that shit.
What's your favorite word, or a word you used a lot?
Broccoli.
Wait, that's your favorite word?
That's my favorite word.
Why?
It's just fucking sick.
Are you being serious?
I'm dead ass. Broccoli.
Can anyone attest to this?
Broccoli. Or menage a trois. That shit's nice. Fire. That's a fire ass word. Let's see what else. Parangwara kutirimikwaro. Parangwara kutirimikwaro. I learned that shit really young, but it's like a random town in Mexico. Or like city or some shit. I don't know, but Parangwara kutirimikwaro. That shit is so technical. It's fire.
Wait, that's the name of the place?
Yeah.
Say it again. Parangwara.
Kutirimikwaro. Tiri mi kwaro. Parangwara kutirimikwaro. Yeah, it's fire though. Okay. That's just gas though, right?
Yeah.
It's just fire.
It sounds like a ding thing with like.
It's like.
Yeah.
It's like a drum. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God. Let me see what else. Is there anything that you want to share, let people know you're working on, or?
I mean, you already signed up to pre-order one of them, but yeah, I've been working on a book for like years.
Yes.
Like years. It's called Brainstorm. And it's pretty much like a culmination of like studies and stuff since I was like in like early college, early philosophy studies. I have like real what is it called, scans of like my actual journals, like my philosophy journals, where I'm contemplating certain things. One of my first just to give a backstory on it, one of my first teachers, he was just like, while you're learning and dissecting information, like jot down like your thought process and like the way that you're thinking about it and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Even if you haven't fully grasped the concept, write down why you feel like you didn't grasp a concept or why you feel like it doesn't make sense. Just write it down. And so I started doing that like when I was like 19, you know? So it's a combination of a lot of those journals of like actual studies from numerology to poetry. You'll find random poems in the middle of a whole fucking like deep, like a deep study on certain like republic sociological concepts, me trying to break shit down, and there's like a random poem in there, right? So it's a lot of poetry, it's a lot of art, so actual pictures, because I love pictures and books, so I put a bunch of pictures, high quality pictures in there of a lot of art. And then there's a lot of essays. There's a lot of philosophical essays in there. And then it's showing like essentially I've been documenting the thought process through my creativity. And so it shows a lot of early versions of even cover arts and different things and how they evolved. And I'm showing the evolution of them and where they ended up and why I chose certain things. And yeah, so like I finished the book like 4 times already, and I just
You just keep tinkering at it.
I just keep fucking with it. And like I'm super excited about that. I have other ideas and other things that I've been writing. Like I'm working on a novel and stuff, kind of like in my own like solitude time, right? Like my solo time in the morning. Doing like a page or a half a page or just like concepts or writing chapters, etc. But the brainstorm book is the first one that's supposed to come out. So that's something I've been working on for quite some time.
Is there a place people can go ahead and pre-order?
Yeah, on my website. But yeah, rexwonders.com. Never forget the 3. It's important and want to make sense now because I haven't given you that part of the story. R3X Wonders. The S was recently added, actually. And to come to the next thing of other things I'm working on, I'm officially 1 year back into music this month.
Wow, okay.
So I dropped the first song last October, like, what was it, like 15th, 16th? I don't even remember, but or this week, essentially. Last year. So, yeah, I've been doing new tests and coming back to music after a very long hiatus.
How was that coming back to it? Did it feel
fun.
like
okay, it was dope,
or did it feel like, oh, how do I do this again? Or it's like, no, I know exactly what I want to do.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do. The thing is, I never stopped making music. I just stopped putting it out or giving a fuck about like being a musician. Not giving a fuck, like I don't care that I'm a musician. I just stopped caring about like doing it for a outcome. You know, I'm a musician. That's it. Like that. There's nothing else. It's not I'm a professional musician or this musician or like it was just I just make music. Like that's just what I do. And I've been doing that since I was a child. So it's like being able to experiment still freely but with more backing on a business level was fun, you know what I'm saying? And there was obviously a lot of tests and stuff done with like obviously like letting other people into your creative process, which is dope. You know, shout out Win Incorporated, shout out Full Fidelity Studio, holds it down, you feel me, type shit. So if I ever need like a deeper understanding or like a deeper study of my engineering, then I typically go through Full Fidelity, you know, and Sony. But just them giving me the freedom to create the way that I wanted to create has been nice. And just kind of doing tests and all that. And we haven't even started really throwing money at it like that. Because like throwing the resources that we actually have. But for now, it's been just fun to see what people like organically. And just like just have fun with it. Like literally drop. I had 3 projects put together for my investment. I'm still independent technically, But yeah, so I have them, you know, that believed in my work. They gave me some money. They gave me some resources to kind of create some stuff. So I had 3 albums for them. And as of this whole year, I've just been dropping like, oh, let's drop this song from this project.
Yeah.
Let's drop this song from this project. Let's just see what people fuck with, you know what I mean? And just like have fun with it. And also I'm dropping according to my emotions. So it's like, if I'm feeling this way on this month, like, and this song is connecting to me, I want to drop this song and I want to have conversations about that song. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to like, let's just set up a plan for 12 months and just stick to the plan regardless of how you're feeling as a human being. Like, I hate that shit. Yeah. I hate shit like that.
I don't like routine either.
Yeah, I don't like planning more than 30 days in advance. I don't give a fuck about planning 3, 4, 6, 5, 6 months in advance. Like, it doesn't work for me. Like, my tomorrow can change everything for me. And it's been like that. And there's been thousands of tomorrows that have changed everything for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I no longer plan more than 30 days for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We definitely need to do a part 2 because I'm coming up on my time.
It's okay, dude. I'm here for you. Whatever you want out of me, you got it.
But I want to touch on this last question that came to mind. What would you tell people who either they hold down a 9-to-5 or they hold down a part-time and they always feel like, oh, I'm chained to this, you know, I don't know, this system or this thing I don't want to be doing during these hours? What would you say is your advice that you are on the other side of, you know, like you're on the greener grass per se? What would you say to them about, hey, you know, it's not always greener or it is greener, but you still need to have like your work ethic, or, you know, is the grass really greener on the other side?
Fuck no.
Wow. Why?
First of all, it's your fault if you don't have what you want. So this is something I have to tell myself. And so although that feels very dense and like unaware, unempathetic, if you're not where you want to be, it's your fault, because you haven't made the necessary steps to be where you want to be. It's definitely not greener on the other side. For sure. It's not. I traded in my 9-to-5 to work 24/8. The reason I use 24/8 is because mom mentality, 24/8.
Yeah.
So like, I work so much, I practically get an extra day on everybody else working.
Say that again?
I work so much, I practically get an extra day on everybody else working.
Wow.
So it's 24/8 for me. You feel me? Like, at this point, it's like, while other people take their little time to the side to like watch some Netflix, lay around with your bitch, all this extra shit, like, I sacrifice my love life. I sacrifice my family time. And that's not what anybody needs to do. You have to make sure you want to do that. Like, you don't, like, this is not advice of do it. Like, this is just like, if that's what you want, if you want excellence, you want notoriety, you want the trophies, you want, it's like the story of Achilles. I don't know if you ever heard of the story of Achilles.
How does it
where
go?
like, essentially his mom was a goddess, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but before he went to the Greek war with the Trojans, he asked his mom if he should go, right? And his mom was a goddess, and his mom told him, yo, if you don't go, you'll live the best life, comfortable, everything, but you'll be forgotten. If you go, you're going to fight a great battle and you're going to die, but your name will live across history. And that was a decision that he had to make. He chose to go, of course. So you have to decide if that's the type of person you are. If you're not, then it's cool. If you want to live a regular ass life, then just be okay with regular ass circumstances.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just not a decision that I made. You know what I'm saying? So the grass is not greener. It's fucking purple, because now you're blending the matrix of red and blue. You took both pills. That's what it feels like on this side.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? There is no family time. There is no, like, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
But the
until you get to it, until you get to what you want. But then you got to also deal with like being able to understand yourself enough to know when enough is enough. Like, it's it opens up a whole new world of things that you didn't even have to think about because you were taking care of a system. You're being taken care of by a system. Yeah. You feel me? With us and on this side, you have to create your own system. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And that
That's
it comes with a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's not me to deter them or to persuade them. But it's pick your poison. You feel me? There's a pros and cons to everything. Like there's duality that comes with everything. Everything is a fork in the road. Every decision is a fork, right? So if you decide to become an entrepreneur and live by your own means and practice your freedom and go into this new realm, then be prepared for everything that comes with. Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
But being broke is not easy either.
That
so
part.
pick your hard.
Yeah.
Pick your hard.
I love that.
Pick your hard. But yeah, that's probably my final say on everything.
Rex.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you.
much,
You're
my
amazing,
friend,
by the way. Hope
Thank
you know
you
that.
so much.
And I
was
love
awesome.
this. I love this. I love everything.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
man. Part 2 is going to be in the works.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Whenever you want me back, like maybe on like a promo run that I have to do in the future with some new drop or something, I'll come by. Whenever you need me though, for real. Yeah. You know.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You know where to find us. All right, we out.
Yes, sir. I had to take a piss.